Hello everyone, welcome to the Historians Podcast, and today we're going to discuss the history of Saudi Arabia with our guest Julia Smith.
Hello, I'm Julia Smith, and I'm really excited to know about your history.
Sure. The history of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia traces its roots back to the earliest civilizations of the Arabian Peninsula. Over the centuries, the peninsula has played an important role in history as an ancient trade center and as the birthplace of Islam, one of the world's major monotheistic religions. Since King Abdulaziz Al Saud established the modern kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 1932, its transformation has been astonishing. In a few short decades, the kingdom has turned itself from a desert nation to a modern, sophisticated state and a major player on the international stage.
That's really impressive. And who was the founder of Saudi Arabia?
He's the legendary King Abdulaziz. He was a remarkable leader of the imagination and the vision who set Saudi Arabia on the road to modernization. During his rule, King Abdulaziz started building the country's infrastructure. He established roads and basic communication systems, introduced modern technology, and improved education, healthcare, and agriculture.
He's such a successful man. And was there any other leaders of Saudi Arabia?
Yes, there was. There were 6 kings that came after him: King Saud, King Faisal, King Khalid, King Fahd, King Abdullah, and King Salman. Did you know that there was a first Saudi state that came before the kingdom?
Oh, really? I actually didn't know about that. Can you tell me?
Sure. In the early 18th century, a Muslim scholar and reformer named Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab began advocating a return to the original form of Islam. Abdul Wahhab was initially persecuted by local religious scholars and leaders who viewed his teachings as a threat to their power bases. He sought protection in the town of Diriyah, which was ruled by Muhammad bin Saud. Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab and Muhammad bin Saud formed an agreement to dedicate themselves to restoring the pure teachings of Islam to the Muslim community. In that spirit, bin Saud established the first Saudi state in 1727, which prospered under the spiritual guidance of bin Abdul Wahhab, known simply as the Sheikh. By 1788, the Saudi state ruled over the entire central plateau known as the Najd. By the early 19th century, its rule extended to the most of the Arabian Peninsula, including Mecca and Medina. The popularity and success of the Al Saud rulers aroused the suspicion of the Ottoman Empire, the dominant power in the Middle East and North Africa at the time. In 1818, the Ottomans dispatched a large expeditionary force armed with modern artillery to the western region of Arabia. The Ottoman army besieged Diriyah, which by now had grown into one of the largest cities in the peninsula. Ottoman forces leveled the city with field guns and made it permanently uninhabitable by ruining the wells and uprooting date palms. Did you know that there was also a second Saudi state? By 1824, the Al Saud family had regained political control of Central Arabia. The Saudi ruler Turki bin Abdullah Al Saud transferred his capital to Riyadh, some 20 miles south of Diriyah, and established the second Saudi state. During his 11-year rule, Turkey succeeded in retaking most of the lands lost to the Ottomans. As he expanded his rule, he took steps to ensure that his people enjoyed rights and he saw to their well-being. Under Turkey and his son Faisal, the second Saudi state enjoyed a period of peace and prosperity, and trade and agriculture flourished. The calm was shattered in 1865 by a renewed Ottoman campaign to extend its Middle Eastern empire into the Arabian Peninsula. Ottoman armies captured parts of the Saudi state, which was ruled by the time by Faisal's son Abdul Rahman. With the support of the Ottomans, the Al Rashid family of Hayl made a concerted effort to overthrow the Saudi state.
Great! And now you're living at the second Saudi state?
No, actually, we live in the third Saudi state, which is known as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The young Abdulaziz was determined to regain his patrimony from the Al Rashid family, which had taken over Riyadh and established a governor and a garrison there. In 1902, Abdulaziz, accompanied by only 40 followers, staged a daring night march into Riyadh to retake the city garrison known as the Masmak Fortress. This legendary event marks the beginning of the formation of the modern Saudi state. After establishing Riyadh as his headquarters, Abdulaziz captured all of Hijaz, including Mecca and Medina, in 1924 to 1925. In the process, he united warring tribes into one nation. On September 23, 1932, the country was named the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, an Islamic state with Arabic as its national language and the Holy Quran as its constitution. Saudi Arabia has achieved many achievements since its establishment in 1932. Saudi Arabia has made significant strides in various sectors over the years, and it is expected that by 2022 the country will have achieved even more. one of the most notable achievements in the field of education. The government has invested heavily in education with a focus on improving literacy rates and providing quality education to all citizens. By 2022, Saudi Arabia aims to have a highly educated population that can compete globally. Another area where Saudi Arabia has made significant progress is in infrastructure development. The country has embarked on several large-scale projects aimed at improving transportation networks, building new cities, and expanding existing ones. These efforts are expected to create jobs and boost economic growth.
Wow, that's beautifully impressive. But I have one last question. I've seen your flag in everywhere. Can you tell me about it?
Our flag has hidden meanings, which I'm going to explain now. The national flag of Saudi Arabia, also known as the Al-Alam, a green background with Arabic inscription and is stored in white. The inscription is the Islamic creed or Shahada. There is no deity but God. Muhammad is the messenger of God. The current design has been used by the government of Saudi Arabia since 15th March 1973.
Wow, that was such a great talk with you, and it's made me more interesting to learn more about Saudi Arabia.
I'm glad to hear that, and I hope you learn more about our history later on. And
Thank you for listening.